unlock new fears, but when I do, it's because TikTok is getting banned. These people actually look like... What is going on? They almost look identical. That's crazy.
How we doing tonight, sir?
Huh?
How we doing tonight?
Oh. It was good.
Get you to turn the car off?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. You been drinking tonight?
No, not.
What's that right there?
How can he... I'm sorry. How can he even keep a straight face right now? Is this Halloween? It has to be... Oh no, this is in April. Oh my goodness.
This is
Gatorade.
Is this a Gatorade, sir?
All right, sir. I'm gonna have you step out of the car.
Am I in
This
trouble?
is creepy.
Come on. We're just gonna check something out real quick.
Do I have to?
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, do me a favor. Follow the light for me.
Pretty right.
Look at his...
All
Ew.
right, let's have you back up a little bit, sir. Walk toward me in a straight line. All right.
You move.
Let's get you to count backward from 50, sir.
57.
All right, forget it.
This is
All right, man. I'm gonna have you put your
time.
sir. I'm gonna have you put your hands on the car right here,
You give me
okay?
enough time. Am I in trouble?
You didn't give me
So
enough
you've
time.
clearly been drinking tonight, okay?
I could somebody to pick me up.
No, we're gonna have your hands on the back of the vehicle here, sir. All
Where are you
right.
going? Am I arrested?
Oh wow. But like... Does that hurt?
Jag är lite höga knän. Ska du ha dem när du åker skidor?
That looks like it hurts.
För vi glömde dina riktiga.
He's pretty balanced though. I mean, if you're walking on tennis balls. That's unnecessary.
Wakeboard.
You guys ready?
Dat must up the buck.
That definitely hurts the back. Ew.
On an ordinary day on Prince Edward Island, something extraordinary. A sound never recorded before. Captured
Really?
clearly in daylight. The smash steps away from Jovel Item's house. What hurtled from the sky missed hitting the homeowner by about 2 minutes.
It landed right between my legs where I was standing.
I didn't
He'd
see
left to
any
walk
legs.
his dogs. When he got back, all he saw was a mess.
We had no idea what it was, and we were cleaning it up and going to throw it away.
But a neighbor heard a crash and questioned, was this a meteorite? The homeowners wondered too when
Maybe.
they saw their camera and sent photos to a meteorite expert at the University of Alberta who happened to be on his way to PEI for a family vacation. Chris Hurd confirmed that yes, this was a meteorite, the first ever recorded to land on PEI, but also a first for the world.
The first time that we've ever had a recorded fall of a meteorite hitting the surface of the Earth with sound included.
The sound of a space rock about the size of a kiwi shattering on impact.
When I showed it to my wife, she said it sounded like ice breaking, like if you took a chunk of ice and just smashed it, right? It's remarkable because it's never really been heard before.
That looks very scary. Like, look at that guy. He's just not even strapped in or anything.
What if they were using network clocks to make time go faster, to make us work more and produce more value? You guys know how chickens are tricked into laying more eggs by using light systems to make them believe that time is going faster, in turn making them lay more eggs, and not just a little bit, a lot more eggs. Well, this man did an experiment where he put his phone on airplane mode and found out that 8 months had gone by on his laptop hooked to the network, as he shows in this video.
December 22nd, 2024, but this watch is only, this clock here, which is on its own network time, has been on airplane mode for the same amount of time, right? A year and change, but the last messages sent were in November, which means I must have turned it off mid-November 2023. And there's a huge time discrepancy. There's at least an 8-month time difference here, a lag on phones that are kept on airplane mode. So the internal clock, what it tells us is the internal clock is running much slower than network.
Just to clarify, this isn't verified, but you can clearly see that this phone that was put on airplane mode has the date April 7th, and his iPad on network says December 22nd. It makes me look at these chickens in a whole different light.
Wait a minute. But to be honest with you though, like, so my laptop here, I actually changed the time on it. So for example, when I make these videos, it's actually at night. But when I look at the time, it, like for example, right now it says 5:57 a.m. the 17th. And then my phone says 21:30 on the 17th. And it's just to trick myself so I don't get tired and I can work later at night. Yeah, I think that might be true.
Bleep indeed. So that's black ice on the roads in Kansas City. It forced this driver to jump from the car as it exited the freeway. Thankfully, she was not hurt.
What? What is going on? Don't nobody need that much baby powder now. First of all, you shouldn't even be using baby powder. Is she gonna put that on?
Les deux là. Zègre tête et puis mamie hanche. Ils sont trop fans de ça. C'est les deux mains qui coûtent cher dans tous les silicones là.
Yeah, you will be just sweating. They even have different colors. You are gonna be stinky under there.
Mais les deux là, zègre tête et puis
Girl.
mamie hanche là, non, laisse tomber. Donc voilà.
What is the purpose of that? You just go ahead and put the baby powder on the inside.
Bon, les deux autres là, ils n'ont pas encore confirmé, donc j'attends. Ça y est là, en attente d'envoi d'argent. Le mois ça a été payé, donc on va essayer de mettre.
Look, there she goes.
On prend soin de la silicone.
Somebody translate.
Venez passer votre commande. Venez passer votre commande. Vos amis n'ont pas le temps de travailler pour rien.
Is that how she's going to give it to the customers?
Ça, là, c'est les femmes qui ont confiance en elles, elles viennent faire ça. Parce qu'elles savent que même si un garçon vient la draguer, si elle enlève les habits après ces silicones là, l'elle n'est pas. Parce qu'il vient à gagner, parce qu'il vient à rester dans son problème. Ah, c'est bien sûr, elles vont toujours avoir. Elles vont toujours avoir quelqu'un. C'est de ça qu'il s'agit. Instagram, les petits chocos, Facebook, les petits chocos. Vous qui êtes en Afrique, on peut vous expliquer depuis le Burkina Faso. Vous qui êtes au Burkina Faso, vous allez voir la
Girl, you are struggling. What is going on here?
Donc, on fait les folies des vrais anges ce matin. C'est de ça qu'il s'agit.
What is this? What is this called? I've only seen this in real life twice in my life. What is this called?
My name is Erin, and my sister's name is Sydney. The shock on people's faces when we go in for job interviews, especially my last job, like when I opened the little Zoom call for the interview. Love it, and we better keep the same salary price point. Yeah, because I wanted whatever you were gonna offer whoever you thought was gonna enter the Zoom. Love it here.
If you really think that all of this shit is because China is getting our data, you're fucking stupid. They don't give a shit about China getting our data. Okay. What data? What data could China possibly get that's going to damage you? Your TikTok orders, your FYI page, your fucking like, come on, man. What, your email address, your phone number? They have all that shit. Everyone has that shit. Russia's got all your shit. And why the fuck would they care? Why would they care? Why would China give a fuck about my data? What data do I have to hide? My shopping list? The hashtags I follow? Like, this isn't about the data. What it's about is the amount of information that we are able to share with each other on a fucking drop of a dime. The amount of people that are waking up and realizing how shitty the government is and how all these organizations that we've been putting all of our money into, they're not really helping people. That's what all this is about. This has never happened. No one has found out this amount of information this quickly ever in existence. This is it. They hate this fucking app because it outs everything. It's not about China. Maybe it's about China seeing all the videos that we post all the time. That's probably what it's about. That's the data they're worried about. Anyways, what the fuck, man?
So are the gateway tapes from the Monroe Institute demonic? I didn't even know that this was a discussion that was going on, but I got tagged in a couple of videos from like this guy named Museum of Tarot. We had it out like a year ago and he blocked me, so I can't even see any of this stuff. But he definitely has a bee in his bonnet about the Monroe Institute, and he's convinced that the tapes are demonic and that the Monroe Institute and Robert Monroe were compromised by the military and they're brainwashing people through these tapes, yada yada. So I'll just throw my 2 cents in real quick. Obviously that's not true. If this was some sort of MK Ultra type campaign that they're trying to roll out to the whole world, why would they make it so hard to get a hold of these tapes? Right? That's the biggest complaint I get from people. They're like, how can I get a hold of these tapes? Why are they so expensive? Why are they so hard to find? Well, if they're trying to brainwash the whole world, they're doing a very bad job of it, right? So what I think Museum of Tarot is talking about is that when you go through the gateway process, and especially if you do it wrong, like if you just find the tapes bootleg online and just start doing it, you're going to have all sorts of experiences, good and bad, beautiful and ugly, because these tapes are raw. They are extremely powerful and very, very raw. This isn't the sugar-coated, woo-woo, hippie, happy-go-lucky meditation stuff. This is like stuff that was created at like a extreme level of effectiveness in order to get you to remove your consciousness from your body so that you can leave your body and astral travel throughout the universe. That was the kind of primary purpose of it, was to play around with tones and figure out what tones applied to different states of altered consciousness, okay? Now, that's very powerful, and that's not something everyone should do, okay? So if you're 16 years old and you don't know anything about anything, you probably should slap on some headphones and do the, industrial strength, military level, astral traveling, tones. Like, this stuff is very, very powerful. So I did it for years.
All right, where do I get this stuff from?
Years before I actually went to the Monroe Institute. And when I was at the Institute on day 1 of a 7-day retreat, I had one of the most, I'll say terrifying, because I didn't know what was happening at the time. It was a very scary experience. I went to a place that I don't know what you would call it. It was hellish. And I did a video on it at the time. I did a video at the Monroe Institute right when I got out of doing the meditation. And I went through layer after layer after layer of faces, just face. And I went through every single one and I felt every one. And the emotion and the feelings and the intensity of going through millions of souls was overbearing. And it was too much for me. It was a lot. It was crazy. What? Now, what happened after that is my awareness went from here, and then it ballooned out, and then my awareness went on the other side of that experience. So it's kind of like when you're playing a video game. After you beat a boss, that boss might be really tough, and once you beat the boss, then you go on and say, you know, you die, you restart at the last checkpoint after the boss, if that makes sense.
Right.
Okay? So you don't have to fight that boss again. That's how these things work, is you're moving your point of awareness further and further and further out. So what the Museum of Tarot guy, and I'm sure some of these other people are dealing with, is like, okay, the fear of the unknown. And the fear of the unknown is powerful. It's very powerful. And when you're confronting the fear of the unknown, it can manifest in all sorts of different forms. And then we start thinking it's demons and demonic. It's not. Typically, probably 90% of these types of experiences are self. It's you're experiencing your own personal fears, your own shadow work, you know, for lack of better words. And it's very terrifying. That's why professionals like Joe McMoneagle, Robert Monroe, Tom Campbell, all the true professionals that have done this for decades, they'll tell you, before you can have any real progress, before you can do any of the fun stuff, you have to get over your own fears, your own insecurities, your own shadow. That's step one. Once you do that, the sky's the limit. And then, oh my God. But what most people do is as soon as they hit that fear level, as soon as they get to the thing that gets a little scary, they retreat. They're like, oh my God, this is demonic. They put it away and never touch it again. That fear is what keeps us from reaching our true potential. So the fear is personally projected. It's not like when you do these tapes, you're entering in some sort of demonic realm or something like that. You know, that's not the way it works. It's a personal journey, okay? So, you know, depending on your own level of baggage, you know, that fear stage might take a day to overcome. It might take an hour. It might take a month. It might take a year. I don't know. Everyone's different, you know. But once you face the fear head on, once you go through that and you defeat that boss, then your checkpoint is on the other side of that fear. You don't have to worry about that anymore, okay? So that's my take on it. These tapes are not demonic. Robert Monroe was not compromised by, you know, the military-industrial complex. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do real research and realize that that's all, you know, some sort of TikTok propaganda. I don't even know who this Museum of Tarot guy is, but he came at me very aggressively back in the day. And I stood my ground because I don't put up with that shit. And then he like started like hitting me with like really personal insults. So whenever I fired back, TikTok has these like anti-bullying things, and then I got put in like TikTok jail, right? And then he blocked me, and I was like, what the hell was all that about, you know? But he came very aggressive at me, started saying that I was like a CIA plant and I was spreading propaganda, misinformation, all this stuff. What? I was like, dude, I don't even know who you are. So anyways, that guy, he's got some issues. But anyways, I'm not telling everyone to do the tapes. I think that the tapes will find you. Robert Monroe talks about that. That's why the Monroe Institute doesn't really do a lot of advertising, because the people that are supposed to come to Gateway, they come at the right time. Let it happen naturally. Don't just like watch a viral video and be like, oh, I'm gonna go do this, you know, because I'm not talking about don't meditate. Like meditation and all sorts of other forms of you know, hypnosis and meditation and stuff like that are practically relatively safe. You know, I can't speak for all of them. But when it comes to the Gateway tapes in particular, not all the Monroe stuff. Monroe, like their Expand app, has a lot of very gentle stuff. But the Gateway tapes are raw. They're different. They're meant for a different purpose. They are meant to alter your state of consciousness and go into realms or dimensions that you can't access any other way. They're meant to be able to remove your consciousness from your body and travel, you know, astrally around the universe, space and time. That's not for everyone, okay? Everyone shouldn't do that. Like, are you kidding me? That's a lot. Most people can't cope with daily life, you know? Ooh, look at the clouds. See how they're kind of like waves like
nice
that?
There.
That's pretty cool, huh? Anywho, I forgot what I was talking about. Anyways, that's all. See you guys later. Peace.
Look how nice it is there.
This video is everybody's biggest fear. So this video was recorded in 2005 in Croatia. The video starts like this. So the video is about two guys walking around the streets when suddenly they start being followed by something.
Uh-oh.
Mi nismo mogli da li piše, gdje se ne, ali pišu, kaj radi? Sam stoji.
They don't think much of it, but then this happens.
Gledaj, au, Isuse Bože. Ček, to je to ono opet? To je lik koji piše.
They then head somewhere else, and then this happens.
Isuse Bože, daj,
In the video, it shows that they end up making it back home, but the weirdest part is the ending.
I thought I had heard about the worst human experiments, but I was wrong. So back in the 1950s, there was a woman named Gail who went to the doctor complaining about anxiety. And the doctor told her they had this new treatment for anxiety if she wanted to try it. Also, I did a whole episode on this story if you want to hear the entire thing. So first he brings Gail into this room where he tells her he's going to give her a few electroshocks, which was normal at the time. But then, without preparing her, he gives her 15 times the maximum dosage of electroshocks. And after he does this, Gail starts writhing around on the floor and sucking her thumb, acting like a baby. Her brain was so scrambled from the shocks, she thought she was a child again. But this is exactly what the doctor wanted. So after all this happens, he gets Gail out of there and he puts her straight into a drug-induced coma. And when she's in the coma, he starts playing tapes on a loop for her, and some of them say things like, "I'm a good member of society." So the experiment the doctor was running was he wanted to see if he could take Gail's personality out of her through electroshocks and drugs, and then put another one inside of her. Gail was kept in this study for months, and she was released with the other subjects once the doctor figured out that what he was doing wasn't working. Anyways, the story is wild, and you should check out the full episode if you want to hear the whole thing.
What? That's it? Anyways, if you like this video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.